Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating text, the Arithmetic of the High Time. We're going to translate the incredibly dense, grim architecture of this world into a visual fable, treating the source text like a dark, unfolding prophecy. We're looking at a universe where things like philosophy, record-keeping, and even grammar have literal, world-ending weight. It's wild. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this dark universe. Think about that quote for a second. Time and pressure here, they aren't just abstract ideas or feelings. In this reality, they are terrifying, physical laws of an approaching apocalypse. The High Time is bearing down on these characters not as some vague threat, but as a cold, hard, completely unavoidable calculation.
Here is the ledger for our prophecy today. We'll cover 1. The Imminent High Time. 2. The Shadow's Silent Ledger. 3. Sir Brain's New Terms. 4. Alara and the Open Page. And finally, 5. The Descent into Chaos.
Chapter 1. The Imminent High Time, or the Approaching Arithmetic.
So picture this. Sir Brain is trapped inside an inverted 6x4 geometry. It's basically a claustrophobic, nightmarish mental prison cell. Imagine a space that literally forces your entire consciousness onto a tiny floor. And while that's happening inside, outside, a massive gravitational force known as the Obsidian Sea is actively crushing down on whatever residual ratio, essentially whatever shred of sanity he still has left.
Now, what's really fascinating about this universe's impending doom is just the sheer strangeness of it all. See, the High Time is an imminent, calculating event. It's not your traditional battle with swords or massive armies. Nope. Instead, it's a fatal mathematical equation that everyone is absolutely forced to solve. It's an event triggered when the gravity from the Obsidian Sea peaks, and this synchronized garden reaches a state of accelerated growth. The pressure is completely on, and it is entirely quantifiable.
Chapter 2. The Shadow's Silent Ledger, Recording the Coordinates.
Right, so into this intense pressure steps the living error itself, the Shadow. Imagine this entity entering Sir Brain's cell without making a single sound. Its yellow eyes are already ignited, and its skeletal face is fully revealed. It's wearing this banked grin, the exact same one it wore before the Clockwork Sovereign of Zero. And most unsettlingly, it walks Geneva in plain sight. You really have to think of the Shadow not as a warrior, but as the universe's most terrifying apocalyptic auditor. It brings Sir Brain the updated coordinates of the opening, and just by being there, it radiates the impending high time like a second suffocating atmosphere.
So the absolutely crucial point here is the Shadow's chilling neutrality. It doesn't fight, it doesn't judge, it just delivers these world-ending coordinates without any ornament or flair. When it observes Sir Brain's measured, soft error, it simply registers the intention against a long record. It neither approves nor condemns the clash of wills. It acts solely as a silent archivist, updating a grim cosmic ledger.
When you really think about that stark reality, the Shadow's hidden agenda becomes perfectly clear. It isn't trying to conquer or destroy anything. Its only goal is the absolute, unflinching preservation of the record. The Shadow literally doesn't care who survives the imminent high time. It only cares that the data of their choices is perfectly filed away. In a weird way, it's a pretty grim reflection of our own world, right? Where every action, every single choice leaves an indelible data trail.
Chapter 3. Sir Brain's New Terms, the Exchange of Data.
Facing this silent auditor, Sir Brain makes a massive tactical pivot. In the past, his conflicts were all about physical dominance. He was focused on reclaiming his original body by force and demanding that the denser conjugation yield the majority to him. But for this final, impending meeting with Alara, he completely surrenders the idea of violent physical conquest. Instead, he opts for a philological surrender. He is giving up the fight for a physical body, choosing to place his residual will into her keeping as equal data. He's treating their souls and wills as mere data points.
To actually pull this off, Sir Brain utilizes what's called a soft error. Think of a soft error as a living, autonomous fragment, like a cosmic backup file of his residual will. It keeps opposing cosmic positions legible on the page. He is betting everything on the idea that exchanging knowledge, maintaining his data on a universal scale, is way more powerful and enduring than trying to physically dominate a single form.
That quote beautifully sums up this whole shift. Words, ledgers, and data have literal, physical, world-ending weight in this story, and that completely reshapes the battlefield for our final act. Sir Brain and Alara aren't going to be wrestling for a physical body, that single frame. They are going to be exchanging the very ledgers of their existence.
Chapter 4. Ilara and the Open Page, The Honest Guest.
Let's trace Ilara's path through this crisis and see exactly how she prepares for the approaching high time. Her philosophical progression happens in 3 distinct phases. It starts with reminiscence. An older poem, one she once mapped against Sir Brain's voice, surfaces in her mind through something called the honest pulse. But very quickly, that resolves into practical weight. There's zero nostalgia here, only residual tension. Finally, reminiscence totally ends, and readiness takes over. She rises to face the descent into chaos, securing her staff and detector in a state of cold, tactical readiness.
Now, the reason she can shift so seamlessly into this readiness is directly tied to her role as the honest guest. The core of this role is a profound refusal to close a page while any legible pressure remains. And this strict adherence to the rules is exactly why that terrifying shadow archetype integrated with her rather than opposing her. It proves that in this universe, grammar, reading the legible pressure, and meticulous record-keeping are the ultimate dictates of survival.
Armed with her tools of readiness, Ilara prepares for the end. She sits with her honest pulse, which is a synthesized pulse that maps memory. She has her detector for registering tension in the soil. Her metaphysical map is laid wide open for the final circuit. And she secures her staff just as night claims the garden. With these incredibly esoteric instruments, she allows the garden's accelerated growth to answer her pulse one final time.
Chapter 5. The Descent into Chaos, the Climax of the Eminent Arithmetic.
We have finally reached the climax, the simultaneous peak. The high time requires no internal persuasion anymore. There's literally no talking your way out of this. It only demands the continued, violent function of the ledger, as all these apocalyptic forces peak absolutely simultaneously. You have the denser will wandering unaware in the outer forest, Sir Brain's residual will, the terrifying absolute zero, and the living soft error, all colliding at the exact same moment.
And to facilitate this incredible moment, the shadow archetype completes the circuit. The scale of the shadow here is basically godlike. It is present down below in the inverted cell with Sir Brain, yet it is simultaneously residing within Ilara's integrated outline up above in the garden. It acts as the ultimate neutral conduit that perfectly connects Sir Brain's terms of surrender with Ilara's method of receiving him.
As the page remains open and the soft error keeps both positions completely legible, what happens when absolute zero and residual will finally collide in the holy meeting place? I'll leave you to ponder that grim arithmetic. Because perhaps the terrifying truth isn't about who wins or loses the physical battle, but the fact that, in the end, we are all just data waiting to be filed by the shadow. Thank you for exploring this dark universe with me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.